Good morning. You are tuning in to another Morning Breeze Live with yours truly, Dr. Natalie Sharpe. And there is a word from the Lord for you. So, I am a mother of two, and my daughters are amazing, absolutely amazing. This journey of motherhood has been something spectacular to me. I learned so much, I've experienced so much, and life just keeps on getting more interesting as the days go by. One of the things that God has shown me is the nature of His heart towards us as our Father. And that has been one of the most profound levels of understanding in this life that I have gained by experiencing motherhood. And I know that many other parents will also agree about that. Every day there is a lesson to be learned. And today I was asking the Lord, I said, God, what do you want to share with your people? And He said, tell them about Joanna. Joanna is my eldest daughter. She is spectacular. I have two girls, Joanna and Azriel. And she is way beyond her years. And anybody who has met Joanna already knows this. And it was just so interesting. The other night, we've been working with her, trying to get her to go to bed on time. Now, she has inherited her mother's desire to always be going and doing things all the time, every day, even all hours of the night. That's just how I am, and she inherited that, unfortunately. So we are trying to scramble to understand how to get her to sleep. And it's been a challenge, but me and Daddy, we are a team, and we're working at it. Anyhow, so she decided in her young mind that she would rather be up watching Little Bear or Peppa Pig or one of her favorite shows instead of going to bed. And, you know, we expect those things from kids. We expect those kind of things. But what happened the other night, I did not expect from somebody her age. And it taught me a lot about us and myself and what we do even as adults. She sat down there on the couch, and I thought she was getting ready to, just doze off a little bit. It was calm, it was nice, and we were about to head to bed, and I was about to grab her up and we were going to do the bedtime routine. Anyhow, I began to hear her speak to herself. Now remember, my precious Joanna, she is less than 2 years old. She's almost two. She's two in a few weeks, but she hasn't reached that mark yet. But this little one was talking to herself. So I decided it's time to tune in, Mama. Tune in and see what this little one is saying. And when I did, it was her telling herself that she is not going to go to bed. And she's learning how to talk and how to use her language. And so she was saying out loud, I'm not going to bed. Just like that. I'm not going to bed. I'm not going to bed. And I had to think about it for a second. I said, is this little girl really saying this, that she is not going to bed? And when I took time and listened, I realized that yes, indeed, she is telling herself she is not going to bed. My God. And so I had to take a moment because, things was to, you're thinking as a parent, you're like, this little young one is being so fresh, so fresh. Why would she be saying this, all of these stuff? And so I said, anyways, I'm going to say to her with a counteracting statement, yes, you are going to bed, Joanna, because you are a good girl, and good girls go to bed. And so she looked at me quite shocked that I actually was listening to what she was saying and gave her a response. Now, here is a lesson that I learned. I know this is a little longer than the other ones, but listen to this. There was a song that came out a few years ago called The Devil Made Me Do It, or Satan Made Me Do It. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And in the song, it's saying that Satan was the one responsible for making this individual, whoever was singing, do the things that they were doing that they know they shouldn't have been doing. And I was saying to myself, as I spoke to the Lord, and the Lord was speaking back to me and just saying, Natalie, what did you learn from this? I said, even the young little babe knows what it is that they're doing. Even the little baby knows what it is that they're doing. So she can't blame it on anybody else. She can't tell anybody else that they were the ones that made her do it. She planned and decided to do this thing, even though she knows she shouldn't be doing it. And I know that sometimes in our lives, we want to blame the devil for every little thing. You know, we end up in circumstances and situations that we shouldn't find ourselves in. We're heartbroken from a relationship that had gone wrong. We don't have enough money to pay our bills, all of those things. And we want to be so fervent and scream out, the devil made me do it. Oh, Satan, da 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 da. But no, we have to take responsibility for these actions that we have made decisions on that placed us in those circumstances. The devil didn't make you do it. Your actions were a result. This is a result of your actions. You did it. You did it. Oh, glory to God. So I'm here to remind you today that you need to, in order for change to happen, you first have to recognize it and acknowledge it. When you recognize and acknowledge the situation and the circumstance that is at hand, you are on the right track to making change. And this change that you will make can change your circumstances, your situation, your outcomes. That's the goal. That's the goal. So, Satan didn't make you do it. You chose to do it. You find yourself in that situation that you're in, not because the devil was chasing you down. No, you decided not to be disciplined, not to fear God, not to listen to God, not to be obedient, not to do the things that you know that you're supposed to do. You did it. And that's the morning breeze. Do what you need to do in order to change your circumstance. Make a decision to do something different. I am Dr. Natalie Sharpe, and this is another Morning Breeze. Have a blessed day. Like, comment, subscribe. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. And if you have a prayer request, please drop it down in the links.